Hello and welcome to Screen Source, your place for film and television news reviews and trailers. How is everybody doing today?
Doing great.
Excellent. Great. Okay,
awesome.
Good. We are going to be talking about a lot of different things today, but we're going to start off by watching Unfriended Dark Web, and then we'll get into, again, to some news reviews.
Okay.
And
I have no idea what this is about, so cool.
All right, cool.
Let's see.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, the term dark web just really makes me kind of nervous anyway. So.
It makes me feel a little like, oh, am I going to think this is lame? Because, I don't know, dark web and lame kind of go together for me.
Yo! Hey, buddy.
It is game night. Ow! Hey, you ready for this? I got a new laptop.
Actually new.
There's a cyber cafe that I've been working at, and this computer was sitting in the lost and found for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Hang on, you stole someone's computer?
I didn't steal it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's messed up.
And I found this folder, it was hidden, and it automatically connects you to this thing.
Dude, this is dark web.
What's dark web?
Part of the internet where no one can track you.
It's all about drugs, illegal IDs, even assassination for hire. Hey, yeah, the dark net is mostly about the bad guys.
And this computer, it's got videos on it, right? Check this out.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh, no. Oh!
I really think you should stop.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
Next
wow.
level horror.
next level horror.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. What are your initial takes on it?
I feel dirty already.
You feel dirty? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pre-dirty for this one.
Pre-dirty. How do you feel?
I like that they're trying different things.
Sure.
I'm still not sold on the genre.
Yeah. Well, this is a sequel to this is the number 2 to Unfriended, and then there's been a couple other movies that are like this in format. Being totally transparent, I haven't watched any of them.
I've seen a couple.
Okay.
And that's about it. I mean, for me, it wasn't like it wasn't like the ones that had thought put into it.
Sure.
Actually were not bad.
Okay.
But then the ones that are there's a couple that are just kind of like just there, and it's all the gimmick.
Okay.
So I mean, I can kind of see either way.
Okay.
On that one.
It reminds me of like kind of writing off of the paranormal movies, just because those were like first person, and then I know one of the paranormals, it was like some cams that were like home security cams.
Oh, okay.
There was the
I
Xbox.
don't even know
there was one
which
with like an Xbox cam.
Right.
So like they tried out a lot of different camera stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was on like it was a kinetic themed. It was a kinetic themed horror thing.
Yeah. Connect.
Yeah, Connect.
Yes.
That's
yes.
it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about Unfriended Dark Web. I will say that, like, I don't know if there's a lot of movies about the dark web, so that actually kind of
That's interesting because that's kind of a new thing. That's not new, but
right. But as far as it's showing,
we
up
haven't
in-
seen things in movies
There
like
were a couple X-Files episodes where they sort of went into the dark web a little bit, like in terms of like organ donation and
Sure.
like weird cult shit, which was really awesome, actually.
Yeah, Mr. Robot got into a little bit of kind of the darker side of
Yeah.
dark web.
But I'm okay with X-Files being super cheesy. Like X-Files can do no wrong in my eyes, but this looks maybe like it might be like crossing the line over into like so cheesy that it's just like no.
It also
think
kind of looked like
so.
Saw, didn't
that.
it?
Yeah.
It had a little vibe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept.
Sure, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't remember who said it, but I do like that they're trying different things.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
that would be my biggest praise for a genre like this.
Because I mean, I think literally the first Unfriended is literally just their faces the whole time.
Yeah.
So they're trying to with the little clips and things. I think they're trying to expand on.
I don't know if I can sit through hours of that.
Felicia
I'm not
Day, the inspiration for a lot of what we do over here at Color Circuit, had a show called The Guild. And in The Guild, they do a lot of things like this with the webcams.
Yep.
And it was really well done, but it's a comedy, so it's very different than, some spooky horror things going on in the background or them leading into the dark web. But yeah, for sure, like webcam movies, can do well, I imagine, or TV shows, or at least like to a niche audience.
Okay, so I have to see. I think I need to see like the definitive, like whenever that happens. If somebody when they nail it, you know, nail it down. It's this is what we're doing.
It feels like it has.
May take some time.
It's still it's still
nailed down yet.
I will definitely. I'm willing to part with $5 on a Tuesday morning.
Sure.
See what we got going. Because it was like, because the reason I say this is because the trailer evoked a certain visceral reaction for most of us. You know, where it was just, because again, like if we're watching a trailer and it's something that'll make us laugh, I'm going to give it a shot. You know, like especially if it's a good, not a, or like we're all look up for our copy of Sensible Chuckle magazine. You know, just but like for that, where we saw a couple of things that was like, ooh, you know, it's just like, okay, all right.
My favorite of that, I mean, actually kind of all the little things they threw in there did, you're right, evoke a reaction, but the one with the eye in the
barrel,
that reminded me of Dexter when the barrel killer, remember that?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Good call. Anyways, Jess, what's going on in the news today?
So,
really quickly before you jump into that, let's give them like a quick. This is what we're talking about. So we'll be going over some Wonder Woman news, some Aeon Flux, some Dolomite, the Chris Hardwick debacle. Yeah, I guess that's the right word.
Right.
We'll be talking a little bit about the movies that we watched over the last week. And Train to Busan was required viewing, so there's a lot of things coming down the line.
Cool.
So if you want to stick around, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, thank you for watching the Unfriended trailer reaction. Anyways, Jess, what's going on with the news?
So I'm going to be talking to you guys about Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so excited. Okay, so this article says, prepare yourself for a leap across time between the first and second movies. So the first movie was set in 1918 at the end of World War I. The sequel is going to be set in the 80s and follow a Cold War narrative.
Cool.
Yeah. And it says here that there is a official teaser for Wonder Woman 2. And it has the WW84 logo. There are so I guess Warner Brothers registered a host of domain names offering the same insight into what the sequel might be called. I'm just excited. There are lots of pictures of her in her uniform, and it looks very sparkly and like very 80s. Nice. It looks like super like sequiny and stuff. I'm into it. I really hope that they like tease her hair to high heaven, like 80s style. Yeah, that'd be really awesome. Sure. And then like, look at this dope tracksuit he's got on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this a spoiler already, or
I don't know.
Yeah, there's questions.
There's not a whole lot of info yet. But
as far as I know, like there's not like a video teaser, and if there is, it is just still images from what I can look up, because that confused me for a second. I feel like I would have known about it.
Right.
You guys know that oh gosh, the bad guy is she looks like a cheetah. The cheetah.
Yes. Nice. Yes.
Dr. Barbara and Minerva.
It is Kristen Wiig.
It's Kristen Wiig.
Which everybody was like, "Oh, that's an interesting choice," because of her background in comedy. And not so much this.
Yeah. But for you know, a animal themed supervillain with like super speed and strength and claws and stuff, it was just like, that definitely seems like an interesting one. Because the cheetah has been the arch nemesis of Wonder Woman, you know, in so many incarnations.
That's cool.
It was like, why not? You know, it was like you eventually had to have Joker in the Batman movies.
Well, I was like, cheetah's her Joker, basically, right?
Oh, very much so.
Which is exciting because I really like Kristen Wiig and she's hilarious. So I think if she can,
I think it'll be pretty sweet.
This seems like I don't know. I am excited about it because she's obviously a great actor. It's just interesting to see her in roles like this. The last kind of weird role, I don't know if you cut to that camera, if you'll be able to see, but she's in the movie Mother on that poster.
I didn't see that.
The camera. That Fernando's camera. I don't know if you could actually see it in Fernando's. Maybe not. Anyways, it was a really weird. I don't think anybody knew she was in the film.
It was kind of a villainous sort of role. It was
no, she wasn't a villain. She was like a journalist.
Yeah, but it was kind of like confusing as to what her role was. You know, like she sort of seemed like a bad person.
Do you remember her in? Is it Knocked Up? She's like in the little office.
Oh, she
and
is?
she's like throwing shade at her the whole time.
What? I don't remember that.
It's good.
I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Yeah, she's got a little part in there, and that's right. I think right before she blew up.
Okay.
And she's kind of a little villain in that too. She's like, kind of
great.
sly remarks and like, oh yeah.
I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah, what do you guys think of these photos?
It's looking good. That is such a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh yeah.
His tracksuit.
And then it
all.
says Game of Thrones Pedro Pascal is on board in a mystery role, which I'm excited about too because I really like him.
Nice.
So we'll see how he shows up in this.
Yeah.
All right.
She could use more than one villain, you know,
Yeah.
because she's such an iconic hero
Yeah.
that, plus it was like you could tell, especially in shit like, Batman or like in Justice League and all the other stuff, it was like, she's also incredibly competent, not to mention the star of the most well done DC Comics movie thus far.
Right.
It was just like, she needs, they definitely are going to have to step this game up.
I have a question. If they had a female antagonist, a female villain in the MCU,
Aside from Hela?
aside from Hela,
There's Hela. Yeah, I was saying
yeah.
Hela
Who was awesome.
Hela was amazing.
great.
It was one of my favorites.
Okay, yeah. Well, you already said it. Yeah,
Why
that
can't
was
I
the
think
question.
of one? I can't think of one.
yeah, Hela from Thor Ragnarok.
Hela would be the one.
Besides
I
her.
guess.
Yeah, well, because there may not be.
I
Yeah.
don't
That's
think
that
there
was that
is.
was why I asked.
I don't think so.
What? I don't want to talk during you guys. No, go ahead. What is it?
No,
Who?
go right
Yeah.
ahead.
Please.
And the Wasp 2 female villain.
Okay,
Right.
the second
So we're
movie that's
coming-
coming out. Yeah.
I think we're coming around to the female.
Who is it
Yeah.
going to be? Do you know?
I don't know who the villain is. I just know
She's a woman.
Well,
Okay,
so
cool.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Wasp is the first MCU film with a female in the title.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
like a lead, sort of like a lead.
Yeah, she's second lead, and then
Lead
next year when Captain
superhero.
Marvel comes out, we'll have our first female
yeah. There we
MCU
go.
lead in the
There it is.
21st
God damn it,
movie.
Marvel! It's
Something
taking you
like
so long.
Well, yeah, what's interesting
I
because
can't believe
the
DC beat you to the punch. Come on now.
well, they beat him
really.
to the punch when they had Wonder Woman as the female protagonist for their third film or
Well,
fourth film.
they
Hurry up,
needed that
hurry
win, honestly.
Yeah.
They kind of did.
Yeah,
they
so-
really did. She saved their ass, but
Big time.
Yeah. Speaking of female superheroes,
Oh, yeah.
what's going on?
ooh,
Okay,
I love
so
Aeon Flux.
yeah, this is just about the live-action reboot that they're going to be doing of Aeon Flux. The weirdest part about it is that the producer for the original one from like 2005,
The one with Charlize?
yeah, with Charlize
okay.
Theron, that super tanked. That was Gail Ann Hurd from The Walking Dead,
Oh,
who is producing this one
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
Yeah, all these years later. So
I liked the first one, honestly.
I didn't say it was bad, but it did tank.
I know it tanked, but I
did
still
tank,
liked
yes.
it. I thought it was like okay.
Well, no, and she was well suited for it too. You
That's
know,
what-
That's
Yeah.
what mystifies me about that one, especially. And then the director was it Karen Kasuma? think
I don't
directed
remember.
that?
In all honesty, I don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't feel that one didn't feel like Aeon Flux.
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't. That's what got me because I'll go back to like the whole Liquid Television short.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, like the very violent and.
I think we were talking about this last night, actually. Just that she had the big horns of hair. Well, yeah, as you can see
right
there, yeah, and that she didn't always survive like every
Yeah.
episode, so there may have been more than one. But it takes place like more than 2,500 years in the future.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no,
Okay.
I'm sorry, more than 5,500 years in the future
Wow.
because it's in the 778
Something- yeah, something like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's post-apocalypse. There are these two nations. I remember the nation that she was from was called Monica, and everyone all had like dark hair and they all dressed in bondagey shit. And
Yeah.
then the other one, I don't remember what it was, but they all wore like these sky blue and like gold brown accented outfits, and they had this combination of like steampunky, like neo-noir kind of like battles. And they would have all of these cool episodes where, yeah, sometimes she would fail in a mission and die, and then she would
Right.
be right back in action in the same one. And sometimes it would go to like a control panel showing their operatives, and a little X would appear over her when she died, and they were just like, "Oh, looks like we need another one." Well, it's not like they said anything because
Right,
these were all there was
they were all no talking.
no words. Yeah,
I always thought it was cool because they were trying new things. The like artistic direction is like
Oh, yeah.
clearly different than most of I think of like Spawn sometimes.
Oh,
when I
yeah.
think
Right.
about kind of the dark the darker comic booky feel.
Oh yeah, it's a grim future because as you can see from the picture we had there, it was done by the animator Peter Chung.
Okay,
and you didn't see a lot of Korean animation that was high profile, especially not back in the 90s. Because I remember he did the anime series Reign the Conqueror, and like he always had the very knobby looking kind of very sinewy kind of looking characters.
Yeah, knobby is a good word.
Very hard and angled and pointy looking as well. Yeah, and it was just like I really liked the way they did it because the animation was incredibly fluid and smooth despite the rough look of the characters. But he did the shit out of it. He was somebody that I really liked, and basically everything I said thus far. Including the fact that it's the guy who was the showrunner for MTV's Teen Wolf.
Oh yes.
Okay. What is his name?
His name is
right up. Jeff Davis.
Yes, who commonly gets mistaken for the Jeff Davis, famous improviser who does "Whose Line Is It Anyways?" in Harmontown.
Nice.
So he responds on his Twitter he responds as the other Jeff Davis all the time. Like I'll come out and I'll meet you guys, and like he never shows up.
Nice.
Yeah, he's in a kind of an asshole about it, but it's great.
It just says that he's going to be writing and producing this one, and let's see.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Have you guys seen that MTV's been making in the last 15 years? This is weird.
Nothing that seen has been.
Sounded really weird when I was like, oh, MTV is doing something like that's worth talking about for a second.
Yeah.
I've heard some good things about Teen Wolf. I don't know. I haven't watched it. So
I know it's stayed on and it's been something that's had a nice little following for a while.
Yeah.
And it was just like clearly it was something that has a fan base, just not a rabid fan base,
right?
So to speak.
Sure.
Right.
I get it.
I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, the last MTV thing I can remember is when they brought the Beavis and Butthead cartoons back. Just for, made it feel
like 2011-ish or so,
like that,
and it was just like, okay, well, I guess we had to get the new jokes out of the way,
right? Pretty much.
Yeah.
So so we don't know who is going to be playing Aeon Flux.
That was
I think they're just
literally
setting
at
it
the
up.
end of like the several articles I looked through.
Okay.
They were like, this is kind of all we know right now is
Yeah.
we're doing it and it's coming. But it was just like I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like it's the type of character like Lisbeth Salander in the Dragon Tattoo series, the Millennium series, that can be played by multiple people and it still
Easily.
will be good.
Easily, yeah.
So I think they can get someone else other than Charlize, even though I love Charlize, but I think they can get other people that will be just as good.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Although to be fair, it was like I really liked her doing the comic booky stuff in Atomic Blonde.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's so great.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just love her. And she was great in Mad Max.
Oh,
yeah.
Forget
Furiosa.
it. She like as the actual hero of the story. Yeah, Imperator
She's-
Furiosa. You do not fuck with
Damn.
that. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, let's move on to our next news topic. Some somber news topic, I guess, to say the least.
it's just
I'm getting
icky.
looks from the producer over there. So Chris Hardwick and his ex-girlfriend Chloe Dykstra, they dated for 3 years, are back in the news, although Chris Hardwick has been in the news all the time. He does a million shows. He has The Wall, I think, on ABC or NBC, or is it?
I think it is ABC.
He's got Talking
NBC.
Talking Dead. He has he was doing Talking Bad for the longest time. So in case you guys don't know who he is, he's basically a very popular host of the Nerdist podcast and creator of the Nerdist Network, which to be clear about, a lot of this is based on what Nerdist Network does.
Yeah.
He sold his company to Legendary Network, so he hasn't been with them for the last 2 years. Nerdist proper.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is really not about him. It's more about Chloe Dykstra, his ex-girlfriend, who is known for being she's a famous cosplayer, a host of many shows. I think she's done a lot of game journalism, if I'm not mistaken. So she lives in the nerd realms, much like we do.
Yep.
And she posted on medium.com, I think it's .com, 2 days ago. Today is Sunday, so I believe she posted it Friday morning or maybe even Thursday night.
Right.
Very not so inconspicuously talking about Chris Hardwick and how their relationship devolved into one of somebody help me out here.
Control and abuse.
Control and abuse. Thank you very much. Yes, and so and by what do we mean by that? Sexual abuse, emotional abuse.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to talk to other men. You better be ready for me sexually when I get home from work. Things like that. Kind of awful things, to say the least. And it took a day, which probably a lot of publicists and people that are working with people that have been on the other side of these accusations say to probably hold off for a second, or even a long time, like Masters of Sex. What's his name?
Oh, there's a guy in Masters of Sex.
I'm sorry, not Masters of Sex. Master of None. Thinking of a different movie.
Aziz Ansari.
Aziz Ansari. Yeah,
I was like, please don't tell me someone from that show.
That's a good show, and there's nothing. Nothing.
As of yet, there's no one. As of yet.
Yes. As of yet. Anyways, Master of None. Yes, sorry. Aziz Ansari. He took a little while before he had a response. So anyways, he got back around 24 hours later saying, "I'm really sorry to have heard about all of this, but none of this is true." And of course, we got into fights. It would even get into yelling matches, but I never sexually abused her. And his mother-in-law, who's a part of the Hearst family, a very famous family in California, Hearst Castle. They used to own a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's his now wife.
The whole Citizen Kane thing. Yeah,
he married into the Hearst family.
He married into the Hearst family. Yeah. The mother-in-law went on Twitter and was defending him, and a couple other people have gone into his defense. Will Wheaton, a very good friend of his, famous for being Wesley on Star Trek, has said he's kind of just going to hold off on saying something. Nerdist Network responded immediately by saying, "We haven't been in touch with him for 2 years, so leave us alone." And what else is going on? Yeah, the wall. I think ABC's is waiting, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they've dropped him quite yet.
Yeah.
AMC has dropped him. Comic-Con has dropped him. He hosts a lot of panels over at Comic-Con.
Right, yeah.
I mean, like this is for a lot of the kind of the nerd community probably going to be a big blow. It was to me.
Oh yeah.
Waking up and reading these articles. I kind of, I mean, by default, we've kind of come to learn in this age and this hashtag Me Too movement, you need to listen to the females making these accusations, because you're going to end up on the wrong side of history otherwise. And we've seen it time and time again. And this is this is clearly not the only high profile, medium profile. Some other ones more recently too, George Takei, March of the Penguins.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
That hurt. I know.
Well, because he's forgettable now.
Yeah.
Well, also, I've always been not a big fan of some of his ethics.
I mean,
he talks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And so, yeah, I mean, this is we've talked about this time and time again on Screen Source, and so it's just kind of, things are rolling, the ball's rolling, and snowballing.
Like, who's next?
And it should. Yeah.
That really is it.
Yeah.
And it's hard because I feel like I keep getting let down, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm gonna believe the women because their voices have been, trampled for so long.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's actually why a lot of this has happened. So I think it's time to listen.
Yep.
It's time to listen to them, and it's time to believe them, because I think that they haven't been believed for so many years.
I made the mistake of wading into the comments sections on these things. And it was just like,
you don't want to listen
there's
to the
still
internet on
some
this
black-hearted shit out there.
It's sensitive, It's just like it's hard because I really like Chris Hardwick. I always feel conflicted with these things because it's like, well, damn.
Yeah, I mean, the two of my biggest heroes, Louis C.K. and Chris Hardwick, who, Louis C.K. is one of the reasons I do stand-up. Chris Hardwick is one of the reasons I host things and created this channel.
Man.
So, it's tough, man, but, we got this is the world we live in, and, we got to...
The day that somebody says anything bad about, Tom Hanks or something, I'm just going to quit.
I did like all of those things.
I'm just going to stop watching
Tom
TV and
Hanks.
movies. I'm just going to...
That's the pinnacle for you?
That's it.
I like
my life is over if that happens. I'm just, pissed,
Yeah.
Fernando?
Well, no, all I was going to say is I really like all the memes they had where it was like women step forth to accuse Tom Hanks of being a perfect gentleman and like the best example of humanity in every way. It's like multiple accusers just said that he's actually an all right dude.
I love it. Yeah, positive accusation.
Yes.
Very cool.
Great.
Anyways, let's move on to more fun topics.
Dolomite. So
Dolomite.
Netflix is producing a biopic on Rudy Ray Moore, more known as Dolomite. Actually, he started doing comedy albums as this crazy ghetto pimp character.
I love it.
Hero.
Did he
And
come
then
up
they
as a stand-up?
Ish.
Well, I think back then, stand-up wasn't like what it is now.
Okay.
Yes.
And like, so I think the concept of comedy albums kind of, turned where like you had
it was like a lot of character and spoken word stuff.
Character things, and then I guess like later on they started doing like just actual comedian shows.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he started in the 70s doing he was doing this character and he'd make up rhymes and things like that, and eventually they got funding and produced several movies. So so the big news for the biopic is we have Mr. Eddie Murphy stepping in. I believe so.
It's been a while.
And that's and he's also, I think he's a producer. He's one of many. So that and they're so he's being joined with the likes of Wesley Snipes, Craig Robinson, Mike Epps, Titus Burgess, and
Shit.
Divine. Yeah, Divine. Joy Randolph.
All right.
Damn.
Okay, so they're
I'm into
they're
this.
going for it. Yeah, and I think the filming just started at the beginning of June, so it's down the pipeline, but it's coming in
It's gonna be good.
right
Yeah.
now.
Odd-
Yeah,
Oddly
really
enough,
sounds
Wesley, like hearing that Wesley Snipes is doing something makes me excited. I mean,
Yeah.
Blade is one of my favorite Marvel films.
Yeah.
I can't even believe it's a Marvel film. It still doesn't like
Yeah.
enter my brain.
As an
I'm like, wait a
R-rated
second.
superhero film,
Yeah.
It was like it was the first time they did something like that right. I think.
Very much
Yes.
so. Yeah, because especially for something in the 90s when a lot of comic book material was shit.
Bad.
That was one of the
Very
ones that
bad.
stepped forth where it was like, no, it can be good. And then it kind of went away for like 10 years. And then it was like, okay, but at least we saw.
I think he did like a YouTube original recently or something. He was obviously out of the limelight for a while because of
the tax,
IRS.
yeah, the
shit.
tax thing.
Yeah. But when's the last time we heard from Eddie Murphy? I just watched Shrek recently, but
Oh, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
It's been a little while. I don't know what he's done.
This article just talks about he's kind of been a little on the light side as far as and doing drama.
Yeah.
Mr. Church in 2016.
Oh.
I don't remember that one.
Nope, I don't
Don't
either.
remember it.
And then before that, the only one was 2012, and it was 1,000 words, and it was like a comedy drama.
Wow.
Kind of.
Okay, so not much.
No
Yeah.
Low
clue.
profile.
No clue, because I've never heard of those. So.
Okay, so
It could be good.
am I wrong that Dolomite is kind of like pinnacle for like blaxploitation 60s 70s?
It's definitely a staple. I
Okay.
mean, it's definitely one of the I think we talked about
Superfly.
Superfly.
Yeah.
Sure,
You know,
yeah,
it's
which just came out last week.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Reboot, yes.
So it's kind of it's in that kind of higher tier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very blaxploitation adjacent. Like
Okay.
this new thing, just because with a lot of them you have to handle them a little bit differently, obviously.
Yeah.
Just because hashtag values dissonance.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where it was fun, especially with that they made just the fact that in the graphic it says Dolomite and his all-girl army of kung fu killers.
Yes.
It was like you already could tell it's not taking itself
hell
that
yeah.
seriously. And that it's going to be something that's going to
Kung
be
Fu Killers.
it has to be so over the top that it's too much fun,
Yeah, it sounds like fun. Eddie Murphy's going to make it extra
Damn,
fun.
they better get some good people to play those Kung Fu Killers. I'm looking forward to that because, oh man,
I want to
just the way that they looked, the fashion, their hair. I love it. I love it all.
I want it to be some of the cast from Black Panther.
Yeah.
Oh my God, hell yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be
especially
great.
doing tongue-in-cheek versions of themselves,
Yes.
like as Kung Fu Killers, because you did not fuck with them.
Right.
No.
Once again. Yeah.
No.
Is there any relation at all to the modern parody Dolomite? Is that what I'm? Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite.
Oh,
yeah, because
definitely.
it was definitely it was an entire genre pull.
It was
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I wonder if there was a direct relation at all to Dolomite,
Yeah.
or
I'm
there was.
sure.
Okay.
It just
Thematically.
in just the theme of just having that strong black.
I hope
character
their names
over the
are.
top. I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Their names better be just like Euphoria.
Yeah.
All those names. Oh my God.
Black Dynamite's amazing.
goodness.
Oh, and we talked before too
God
how
damn
Black
it. I
Dynamite's
love it
getting
so
that second movie.
Yeah.
Oof,
Nice.
excited about that. Anyways, cool. Dolomite, Eddie
Cool.
Murphy.
Cool.
Looking forward to that.
It's gonna
Jess,
be
what else
good.
is going on?
So this is a picture of Pinar Toprak. I think I hopefully pronounced that right and didn't butcher it too much. She is the first female composer in the Marvel MCU. She's going to be the composer for Captain Marvel. And she's the first female composer to work on a movie in the MCU, so that's really awesome and exciting.
Cool.
Yay.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
Captain Marvel is going to be taking place in the 80s as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I think so.
I
Is
like
it-
where
it's
this is
90s?
going.
90s.
90s.
Oh, is
that
it?
was actually confusing
Really?
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
It's
damn.
really interesting how they're both doing
the
that time
tape
jump back
recorder
20,
thing.
30 years.
Yeah.
Um,
I know.
Thanos deleted. Yeah. Thanos has a big delete button.
Yeah. It was he did perform the final deletion.
Yes.
Right.
The Control Alt Delete.
Aw.
Anyways,
be
cool.
good.
Yes,
I
very
like the
excited
90s.
about that to see just more females behind the cameras, as well as in front of the camera.
Composer, 90s music is the shit, so you better make it good.
I mean,
No pressure there, Pinar.
I
Just saying.
I became a little bit more excited when I found it because it was like already doing an 80s score for a superhero movie is going to be rad for Wonder Woman.
Yes.
For a 90s score for Captain Marvel.
That sounds
Better
cool.
I
be
like
some
it.
good shit in there.
I can't remember if there's like a release a date or month for Wonder Woman.
I don't know. I didn't read that in particular.
Yeah, Captain
but-
Marvel is like February, I think, of next year.
Okay.
Something
God,
like
that's
that.
so
Way off.
soon.
Yeah. I think it's the next one
Oh my
after
God.
Ant-Man.
I better start getting read up in all those comic books. It's going to take me a long time, guys.
Anyways, let's move on to our next segment called Coming Soon, now with Post Tomatoes, which always comes before.
Free
tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, sweet. Thank you, guys. So every
getting
week
good.
we talk about the new
Can do it.
television
Wow.
or movie shows that are coming out for the week. We assign what we believe the Rotten Tomato scores are going to be,
Ooh, we
and then we
actually
compare
did
them to the
really
actual
well this
scores for the
week.
following week.
Holy
So
shit.
Tag was the first one at 76. The actual score was
56.
yes.
Ooh,
And
I think
okay.
we
that was,
aimed high on that one.
that was,
we
yeah.
definitely did.
I think we were hoping for it to be better than it actually was.
I think,
Well,
yeah.
And then,
Clearly.
I remember too that we were talking about some of the other
sad
kind
about
of
that.
sleeper
Right.
comedies that came out, and this kind of looked in the same
Yeah.
vein. But
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
just-
but I guess it
Yeah.
didn't meet the
It's
blockers comedy of the
And-
year. What other one? Game Night.
Game night.
Yeah, because with a lot of these, it's just the fact that they are super hit or miss. Some of them
Yeah.
will incredibly resonate with an audience, and then some of them will just plop, and
Yeah.
it's really sad. And looks like this is a little closer to a plop. It's still above average.
Here's
but
what I think is happening as far as comedy and film. I think it's all moving over to Netflix. I
Yep.
think it's all like where's Judd Apatow? Where's oh god, what's his name that did Beavis and Butthead and
Mike Judge.
Mike Judge.
Judge.
He's on Silicon Valley. He's over at HBO.
Yeah.
They're all moving to television.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I just don't. I'm not seeing it within the last year or two. We're obviously getting comedy in the superhero films.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're getting big names for for Thor Ragnarok and
And even in
And
like
Ant-Man.
horror movies, we're getting like some comedy. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
vibes.
the new
kinda
the new
weird.
Halloween was
Yeah.
written by
Oh,
Danny
yeah,
McBride. Danny
we just
McBride.
yeah, we
Right,
talked
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, Get Out, written by another comedian.
Yeah,
as
it's
things
like-
are changing. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
guess.
sometimes for the worse. Like in this case, I guess Tag didn't do super well. There's
Oh,
obviously
well.
it is quite a cast. I was very excited
Yeah.
about it.
I'm probably
Yeah.
still gonna like rent it on
Yeah.
Netflix or something.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about the big accident?
Give it a accident.
Yeah. It's Jeremy Renner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was, I guess, like on a ladder on top of something else. He was like 15
shit.
feet up. during the filming of this movie, and he fell down on both arms and broke both of them.
Oh, my goodness.
And he talked about, he's like, I can't go back and rewatch it. Like, they filmed all that because it was being filmed, and he's like, I can't rewatch it. It's like, it's awful.
Too painful.
Too painful. And then I think they CG, I don't know how much they CG'd his arms, but they did. So like, somebody, I don't know who I was talking to, but I think Scott from Color Circuit was like, I hope he has like Colossus arms for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Because it's like just the thought of like breaking one arm is bad, but like breaking both arms at the same time. It's like breaking both legs at the same time, where it was just like, you are just fucked.
You're fucked. How can you do anything?
How do you wipe your butt?
You get help.
You get help.
Rag and a stick.
You get help.
A stick and a friend who can keep the secret.
I have had, actually, believe it or not, 2 ex-boyfriends that have both done that. One snowboarding and one because he was an idiot and, flew off the swing and landed like this.
Anybody that dates you should be scared, probably.
Yep. So
fear for your limbs, homie.
Watch out.
But and it's just also the fact that I worked for years as a home health care provider, and sometimes that's something that's the assignation that
Somebody's
you get.
Gotta do it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's just stuff that it's just like any sort of thing as you would know in your home life there, Stan, that having to work in the medical field, that is some of the nastiest shit that you will ever deal with in the human endeavor.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Well, you have a kid, so you wiped some butts.
Oh yeah.
And I've raised children as well.
Quite a few butts.
Speaking of children, Incredibles 2. 95%. It was our guess, and it was 94.
94, damn, we're
that's
good.
pretty good.
Easy.
Yeah, that was kind of like more
really
of an
easy.
easier. I kept seeing articles that saying, like, I think it was Digital Trends. I could be wrong. Like, not so great. A couple others, but like big ones, which I was surprised by. But clearly, the critics liked it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt.
Did anybody get a chance to watch it?
No,
I have not. I'm
Damn
going
it.
to. See
I'm
it.
going to watch it.
I try to avoid like opening weekends for stuff like that.
Really?
Like Tuesday.
For like The Incredibles, because it's gonna be packed. Everybody is gonna be bringing their kids.
I love kids, but like I'm probably gonna go like super late at night so I can avoid like the screaming and stuff. No offense, kids. I love you, but you can be noisy and annoying.
Do you take your
in
kid to the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have an older kid though, right? You don't have like a 2-year-old
now, so but we did. I've been taking him to the movies since he was little. So
okay.
He's good.
He knows how to behave in the movie theater.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be seeing it twice. Once on a Saturday morning because they do accessible screenings on Saturday mornings for children with autism and the like. So if they can be, because for my nephew, it's just something that you kind of have to learn,
right?
So actually, if you didn't know that, now you know. For parents of autistic children,
is that true for like most theaters or big chains? Or
honestly, it's handled on a case by case basis.
Okay.
But by and large, that tends to be the case, particularly for animated series or things that are geared towards children.
That's awesome.
I'm going to go and do that with my nephew, and then I'm going to go and see it on my own so that I can actually see it.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's going to be a lot of color, it's going to be a lot of light, it's going to be a lot of sensory, whelming and overwhelming for him. And I love my nephew, and I want to take him to something that he is going to be thrilled to see.
Sure.
And but at the same time, I also I want this one for
the
me.
movie goes
So
you.
I'm gonna go. It'll be twice, but so what? I can afford it.
Yeah. Superfly 55% ended up at 54.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I lowballed this one, but
I'm just happier that we were right on the dot.
Yeah, no, we look good.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I kept seeing again more articles popping up on my feed. Superfly not so great, not so Superfly.
Okay.
It was I think it's one of those ones. There's definitely, I think you're either in or you're out.
Yeah, you have to be done. It has to be done well, and maybe it just wasn't done well.
Yeah, you guys are just talking about, we're harkening back to movies made 40 years ago, at a very specific time in our culture, and like how does that translate? I couldn't tell you specifically. I didn't watch the movie, but. Yeah, it could be difficult. I guess
there
is
are
what we're trying
a
to
lot
say.
of themes that are coming back around, and sadly, they are coming back around. But they are
very true.
So
now we're into our next segment, coming soon now with pre-tomatoes, which always comes after
post-tomatoes.
And so we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to talk about some film and television that's coming out for the week. What do we got, Connor? We got Take Two, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and Yellowstone. Who knows anything about any of these things? Take Two, let's start there. Has anybody seen or know
Lame.
anything about this?
Sorry.
I was going to say I've seen ads for it, but that's literally been it. Nothing more.
Is that Eddie Cibrian? What the hell is he doing in a movie? I'm sorry. Get out of here.
No. This is a TV show.
Oh, well,
New
still.
series by ABC. It is from the executive producer of Castle.
Yeah,
I always liked it. That was an easy. It's an easy watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch Nathan Fillion in anything.
Yeah, it's
but
just because Nathan Fillion's in it. That's the only reason I watch
this
it.
isn't Nathan Fillion. This is
True.
what's her name? The country singer's husband or ex-husband. I don't know if they're still together.
Where do I know this
What's her
girl
name?
from?
Rachel, is it?
That's the OC.
The OC.
Oh, Rachel Bilson.
That's Rachel
Bilson.
It's Rachel Bilson, and then he had the whole thing with Leanne Rimes.
Yeah,
right.
that's who he
yeah.
was married to.
Yeah, okay.
And Rachel Bilson was married to Hayden Christensen, the guy from
Really?
Star Wars.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
wow.
Yeah, they had a baby together and everything, and I think they're like separated now or divorced or something like
Man,
that.
all those
The
People
kid's probably
magazines
pretty,
really
though.
come in handy. Yeah.
Oh man.
I keep up with all the celebrity gossip
Oh, that's
because
great.
it's
No,
like
that's cool. Yeah.
it's like nobody can
relevant.
ever fucking stay together.
No,
like they just can't.
it
It's
is
just like it's impossible.
Yeah.
It is fucking impossible.
Except for George Clooney, Tom Hanks too.
George Clooney.
Sort of.
Oh, Tom Hanks. Sorry, not Doug
well,
Clooney.
with
It took
his
him.
new
It
wife.
took him like
Right.
50 years to actually
get
settle
married.
down.
No, but hasn't he been with her for a long time?
We'll see.
I was gonna say he was with a former professional
We'll see.
wrestler. For
Just
years.
wait it out. He'll probably be.
I don't
He
know
has
what to
twins
tell you
with her, and it'll probably be a messy divorce. So just saying.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah, she was like a UN lawyer.
I mean,
or
I like
something.
them
Amal
all.
Clooney?
I like her. I like her a
Yeah.
lot. But you know what? They're not. It's just not going to last. Sorry.
This is devolved into. I watched the
go.
TV promo for this. It is about like a cop. It's like a buddy cop duo thing, and it's a wacky one, I guess. Not sure how I feel
Doesn't it?
about it. Connor was watching me watch the trailer earlier. Yeah, we're gonna do reactions to reactions eventually.
Nice.
He
So
didn't even
meta.
actually see like what the trailer was. He was just watching me, and he's like, "That's definitely ABC, right?" Because it had like the ABC music, like it felt Disney. You know what I
Gross.
mean?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Probably not good.
I'm in love with her. I have like a huge girl crush on her, but kind of who doesn't? She's so pretty. But it's kind of like her acting's like very subpar. And him, I don't even understand what he's doing in anything.
Is he an actor?
He's an
didn't
actor,
even-
but he's terrible. It's really bad.
He could
Am
be
I being
family
too
friendly, which is why
opinionated?
they picked him up.
It's just
Yeah.
it just looks awful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it.
How about Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom? You guys gonna watch that?
Probably.
Who's not going to?
That is.
I will
a producer's not going to.
You know, I will watch it reluctantly with a smirk on my face the entire time and be like, God damn it, this probably is gonna suck so bad.
I'm starting to get a little. I never thought I'd say this. I'm starting to get a little Jurassic Park fatigue. Fatigue.
Wait, didn't we get fatigued after? I know, like, not a lot of people are fans of Lost World, the second one. I really like that
enjoyed
one.
it.
Oh,
I
that
liked
one's
it.
wonderful.
The third one, I don't think was.
I like
It
that one
wasn't
too.
terrible.
But I get it. I did like
That
it.
was the
but
island
I
one,
get,
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they went back to the island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
I
did like the
get-
monsters in that one.
I get why the people.
dinosaurs.
I get why
Yeah.
people didn't like that one, but I
Yeah.
did enjoy
it.
it.
Was okay. It was fine.
And the thing was, last one that came out did very,
It just-
very well.
yeah.
I think I want to say it hit $1 billion.
It
on
easily
broke
sure
records.
did. I'm sure.
Because
it
I
did.
remember it eclipsed like the Avengers, and
Yeah.
it like
Speaking of Avengers:
It
Infinity
wasn't
War,
very
just broke
good.
$2 billion.
I heard that.
Nice.
A lot of
Nice.
fucking money, man.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is amazing.
it's catching up to Titanic now. I think.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
amongst
yeah.
like top 5 or something
It's
movies,
really
highest grossing movies of
good.
all
Yeah.
time.
Because
Yeah.
the reason that I say this is who isn't going to be watching it is I think for the second time around on this one, just because of the work that Chris Pratt does with
Yeah.
everybody else that's on board.
Yeah.
Like everybody watched the shit out of the first one.
Everybody
You
likes
know.
Chris Pratt.
Everybody likes him. He's very
Super
likable.
likable.
Chris,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
He's
with-
got that charisma, you know.
it doesn't seem like this is straying too far from form. You know.
No.
And there's that King Kong element to it.
Right.
You know.
Yes, the trailers remind me a little bit of the 2001 Godzilla.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the American one, I
Yeah,
think.
right.
Where, like now they're in the city, and I saw the poster with a giant nail over the kid, or he's got his big mouth over the kid, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. My guess is it will be fun.
I bet
Right?
there's
Hopefully.
I
I
think
mean, yeah. I have low.
She has a
hopes.
lot to say.
Yeah,
apparently.
I think it's going to do tremendous business.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's going to be good, though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just not going to be that great. I think it'll be maybe like excitement and adventure,
Sure,
which is okay.
Yeah.
But it's not going to touch the original Jurassic Park movies, which were great.
Well, I mean, yeah,
wonderful.
and like you said too, like from what I saw from the commercial trailers, it doesn't look like it's straying too far.
Yeah.
From floor, people run dinosaurs on the loose, and everyone's running and screaming,
scared, and okay,
okay, all right.
We've seen this all before.
Okay.
It's like, God, don't you guys learn
Why
anything?
do you keep going back to that island?
Haven't you learned anything about recreating these dinosaurs?
Think about it is like what do you put these films genre wise, because they've changed a little bit. The second one was a little bit more horror, I think.
Maybe, yeah.
The first one was too.
Yeah, but it also was like, you're right, like it felt
Action-adventure.
action adventure.
Yeah, action thriller.
A little bit like comedy, because you got Jeff Goldblum, who's wonderful and makes every
and
thing
he's
great.
in this one, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he
that
is
was
back.
That was a big reveal. I
He
think,
is
in
back,
this one.
which
So it makes me wonder how they're going to approach this one.
If you want a good Michael Crichton, something else to watch, which will be better, watch Westworld.
Westworld. Oof, yeah, that show is insane.
Season
so
2 is really heating up, guys.
Yeah, really heating up. It's no longer just Westworld.
Nope.
And lastly, Yellowstone, new TV show that is going to be on the FX. No, that's
Paramount.
not true. Paramount. Thank you.
Okay.
We're just talking about which I didn't
Yellowstone.
even realize was its own network.
Yeah, no, I didn't either.
Who am I looking at right there?
It's I don't know who that is. It's Costner. Kevin Costner's involved with that one?
I forget, because we
watched the trailer for it.
Yeah, series trailer for this, and it was a long one too.
Yeah.
We did this a couple months ago.
Yeah, Taylor Sheridan is the director for this.
Okay.
Taylor Sheridan. What else has he
You
done?
might know him from Hell or High Water.
He wrote that.
Wind River.
Ooh.
Sicario.
Ooh.
This guy is fantastic.
He wrote Sicario and Hell or High Water, and then
Awesome.
Wind River, I think, was his. I don't know if it was his directing debut, but he directed that.
He
He
did
wrote and
direct-
directed.
okay, so he
Wind
didn't
Those
River.
direct
are
all
all
of those.
great.
No,
Okay.
he wrote. Yeah,
That is
Sicario.
Kevin Costner, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that's what I.
Well, and like the weirdest, like what was the whole thing? It was like family ranch, and
Oh, yes.
Well, the thing that I thought was so strange is like they kind of painted like the native guy
in a bad light.
as like the land developer.
I couldn't
And-
tell.
Yeah, because they made him look kind of like sneering and villainous,
Sure.
and it was like that's an interesting way. That's a
It
weird
almost seemed like it
direction
was
to take it.
flipping the
Yeah.
story a little bit
Yeah.
as far as the white man and the.
I don't
and the
know how I
indigenous-
feel
What's
about
the
that.
cowboys? Yeah, or the like.
Sounds a little problematic.
Yeah,
I think we
be.
talked about that too, where we were like, are they doing what it looks like they're doing? Yeah.
We'll find out when
That's
we find
interesting.
out. I will say though,
Yeah.
now after watching a handful of his films, Taylor Sheridan is moving towards the top of the list. I love the way he goes about storytelling. And I've said this before. He approaches it towards the beginning, this very basic 3-act structure, goes to a 5-act structure. No. We're still back on Yellowstone. Goes to a 5-act structure from there, and then kind of just builds on top of that. I don't know. He's very detailed. He comes from an acting background, which I think is very interesting.
Yeah.
And then moved into all of this. And so I am definitely going to be watching Yellowstone if I can.
Yeah.
Do we have Paramount access?
I think so. I think.
Good
I
question.
think it's
Don't
one of those
know.
ones. It's on the real basic.
Okay,
packages,
cool.
because I saw. I was looking for something else. That's something I'd worked on actually. It was the Waco.
Oh,
The Waco. It was like a mini series,
branch
but it was
to
on.
video.
It was on.
Oh, you
it
worked
was
on that.
on Paramount.
Okay.
The network.
Okay.
So
I didn't know
Okay.
that.
I'm like,
All
all
right,
right,
well,
cool.
I remember
look for
when
it.
Waco came out.
Yeah, because it's an interesting team that's behind this one, but
Yeah.
again, I'm not really sure how to feel about
if
it.
the plot is hopefully not as problematic as it
back to the other one.
seems, then yes, I will probably watch it.
Cool.
All
Well,
right, so let's
find
give
some
scores.
Oh, right.
Take
yes,
two.
yes, Rotten Tomato score.
3%.
I-
Take 1, 2, 3%.
45.
Yeah.
Sorry.
40.
I'm gonna say 32.
Okay, let's go with a 35 then.
I like
that sounds like a
35.
middle ground.
35. Okay, cool. So tomatoed Fallen Kingdom Jurassic World. Where are we at on that?
76.
I'm gonna say 85.
Okay, that's even high.
I'm gonna. I think it's gonna be 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, like you said, I think it's gonna just make massive amounts of money.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think. I think it's probably gonna
It's
be.
gonna
maybe
be like
modeling.
what's that movie that
far
made
as
so much money but it did terribly? The DC one, Suicide Squad.
Which
Okay.
one? Seriously,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
it
movie
did make
makes-
a lot of
it-
money.
I think that movie
Yeah, it-
almost hit
it-
$1 billion. I don't think
But
it
it
quite
tanked.
I
did.
don't think it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but it
it
almost.
everyone like unilaterally hated it. But
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
saw it apparently.
What
yeah.
did we decide on? 75?
70,
Let's say 6. So we're not all
76.
five.
76.
We tend to go with the 5.
Yeah,
Let's go take
yeah.
2 again. One more time. What was that number?
We did a 35 on that. one.
35, 76 on
Jurassic World,
Okay,
Fallen
cool. Yellowstone,
Kingdom.
guys. What's going on there?
I will.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's a hard one to gauge
70, like just straight 70.
because it's got a good team.
It's
but
got a good
that's
pedigree,
no,
yeah.
that's no guarantee that
I'm
it's
going
gonna be a
87.
success.
I think critics
Holy
like
shit.
I think critics like this guy.
You think
I
it's
think
gonna-
critics
Okay.
like
think it's gonna
Taylor
go?
Sheridan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was thinking 80ish.
Okay, how about 80? Like a straight 80.
Oh, baby, yeah. I like
Cool.
that.
Let's do 80. 80 is a good score. I'm okay with that. All right. So that is our scores. We'll check back in on those next week.
Cool.
See how much we suck.
Or how much we don't
yeah,
suck.
super.
We were
Yeah, we
off
got
by
2 for
1
3.
on 2
Yeah.
of them. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. All right, cool. Now into our reviews segment. This
Here we go.
is the image. Can you bring up the image? I lost my mind for a second.
What are you watching?
Yes. So in the review section, we have a couple different things that we play along with. One of them is, what are you watching? So, what are you guys watching this week?
I'll go first on this one. Well, in keeping with the theme that we had last week for the last film standing, as it was found footage, I realized there was a found footage film that I had in my collection that I actually had not gotten around to watching.
Cool.
Chronicle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, as far as that goes, for something where literally no frame of it was not shot on camera, whether security camera or a handheld or whatever, or later, as you see, with a telekinetically wielded handheld. Yeah, it was a really cool movie. Plus, it was like Dane DeHaan and Michael B. Jordan got their starts in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was after Fruitvale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
it was like-
was it? Because it was like 2011.
Was it? I don't remember.
Who directed this film?
This was directed by Josh Trank, who made the abysmal Fan Four-tastic, and then it was written by Max Landis.
Okay,
Like,
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and because this was kind of the movie that launched Josh Trank's career until like 5 years later, it just like,
tanked it.
Got it.
He did the Trank tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, as the kind of superhero-ish story of 3 friends who kind of stumble upon some unknown alien device or bombarded by its radiation.
It was a meteor, right?
It was-
yeah.
well,
They said that kind of thing.
Well, because it was just this hole
Yeah.
in the ground.
Oh, that's right,
And they
that's
go in
right,
and
yeah.
it's all this crystalline-looking shit.
Right,
But it's like
right.
behind a screen, and they touch it, and it turns red,
then
and they're
they-
like, ah! And you see like the camera fly backwards from where it is like really fast, and then it goes out. And so yeah, the whole thing is just done. Because first frame of it is just kid bought himself a camera, and he's kind of doing it with his just documenting his whole life, and then he gets involved doing stuff with his cousin, and then with this guy Steve that they just happened to make friends with, who was Michael B. Jordan, who was just such an incredibly charismatic and likable character. From the jump. It was like you could tell like he had the chops to really go far.
yeah.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
like one of the best damn villains in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, people love him.
But
Yep.
it was like
The-
Fahrenheit
Creed
451 did not do well, though.
yeah,
That's sad. I had high hopes for that.
Yeah.
and he
Creed
was
2.
wow.
Creed 2.
yeah,
Creed
yeah,
2, yes.
And he was but he was a superhero twice before he was a villain.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole thing, tremendous fun, and what you see, what people would, the potential, especially for dumbass teenagers, and what they would become if suddenly you were gifted with the power to to move shit with your mind.
That just clicked because I remember the trailer from it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, and I remember the trailer thinking about how cool that trailer looked.
Yeah.
I would
That
love
is a
to
good
watch
one.
that.
I did forget about that when we were talking about non-horror movie.
Yeah.
That's definitely a good one.
Love me
Found
some alien
footage.
stuff, so I'm all down for
like
that.
it gets horror-ish.
Oh,
you know,
definitely.
Yeah, because there's some scary shit that happens in including one particular, like what would qualify as a scene of animal abuse that is nightmarish.
Whoa.
Nightmarish. Yeah, it's just
I cringed.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's just one of those things where like you don't really see it coming, and then it's just like kind of that, you know? Yeah.
Pops
and it was
up on you.
It's definitely it's like a it's a good I classify it as a superhero movie.
yeah.
Oh.
Because it definitely, I mean, it takes that origin story, I guess, almost.
Because only one of them puts on a uniform
Right.
at all, and that's like a firefighter's uniform.
Did that movie come out around the same year as Midnight Special?
It was 2012.
2012. Okay.
Yeah.
It might be
I think
very
Midnight Special was
similar.
a little bit later.
Midnight Special is really good too.
But it just reminded me. I remember like a couple more indie superhero films that did really well.
Yeah.
Or that
They're all
people
kind
liked.
of alien
The
related.
Super came out, and then and
Yeah.
Kick-Ass, and although that was a franchise, but still.
Right.
Yep.
Very cool. Oh, cool. I'll give that a watch.
I'm looking forward to watching
Oh,
it.
totally
Yeah,
worth
it is
it.
good.
Yeah, very,
That's
very
good.
worth it.
Nice.
And it's a fast watch.
Oh,
it is.
Because it's not even 1 minute 30 or 1 hour 30.
Oh,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
fast.
That's
right.
always a
It's
good
like
selling
87
point.
minutes.
Yep.
something like that.
Yep. It's like, do we have enough time in our lives?
Right.
Because it's like, damn, we have to watch a lot of stuff.
I'll give that a watch. I'll give that a watch.
Cool.
What are you
Definitely.
watching,
Me too.
Jess?
I am watching lots of things, but I think this week I'm going to talk about Dietland, which is a show on AMC, and it is based on a book. And I am very big and interested in the body positivity movement, and so this is a show based on a book, which is kind of like going deep into the diet industry, and it's fictional. It's a fictional story about this woman who is, I guess obese according to society standards, but she's bigger, and she is dieting and doing all these programs and trying to lose weight, and then eventually gets like basically sucked into this world of like body positivity where they're like kind of like vigilantes in a way. They're like taking down the diet industry and men and all this weird stuff. It gets
All
weird.
the shitty things.
It gets weird. It gets weird, but I am really into it because I think it takes down a lot of stereotypes and talks a lot about like just all the things that women and men have to go through in terms of like body image and how we have to struggle with trying to look a certain way and always feeling self-conscious about ourselves, and trying to like restrict ourselves so much with food that we go insane. And
Yep.
so
I have a couple
think
things
it's good.
to add to that. So, first off, I think it's super interesting that they created like a serialized story around this topic.
Yeah.
It's
which is
fictional and
really
it's interesting.
Interesting. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything like that. It sounds
Yeah.
like it would be like a documentary or something.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
what
it's
it sounds-
not. It's
Yeah.
like a story about like vigilantism. It's
And
kind
then
of weird.
the two other things is Jessica and I are really into this Netflix docuseries called Explained. Please watch it. It's very good. They're 15-minute documentaries. One of them was about like the diet industry and a couple other things. Not necessarily completely on topic, but it is about diet. And then I watched a little bit of the show with you, and it reminds me a little bit of This Is Us when they cut to the family of the larger woman and the larger man and their relationship with each other in society. And didn't they meet at like a they met in like a group setting? Do you know what I'm talking about, Jess?
Oh yes, you're talking about This Is Us, where they go to like Weight Watchers sort of meetings.
Yeah.
And they it's like Overeaters Anonymous or those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But it's I could see how you could see it relating to that.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how the show progresses in terms of like the vigilante part of it, because it's very interesting how it's related to that. I don't understand how that's going to work, but we'll see.
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So give that a watch. I want to talk about You Were Never Really Here, the new film by Lynn Ramsey, who wrote and directed it, starring Joaquin Phoenix, amongst others. But It's mostly a Joaquin Phoenix movie. Jessica and I watched this when we were visiting her brother in San Francisco.
We went
Berkeley.
to a theater in Oakland. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's Parkland or something.
That sounds right.
That theater is amazing. It
Maybe
has
the
like
coolest theater I've ever been
couches.
to.
It has a full restaurant. They bring you your food during the movie. They don't bother you at all. They just bring you your food. They know exactly where you are because you have these little
It kind of geotags you. They bring a little
geotag
thing.
things.
And then we know those theaters exist, but on top of that, every night of the week is a different theme. So what they do when they're on top of the movie theater sections that they have, they also have like a board game night. They have like a comedy night. It's like an open mic night. They have a trivia
That's
night.
cool.
Yep.
It's like this is
There's
how
like a comic
this is
book
how
store
you
like
run-
across the street. It's just like
Yeah, this is how you run a theater or
So cool.
space.
Yeah.
This is how I would want to run one.
yeah.
Anyways, aside from the awesome theater that we saw it in, we had heard about You Were Never Really Here. We didn't get a ton of press because it's a smaller film. The director Lynn Ramsey also made I think it's called We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Okay.
yeah, I've heard
Yeah, very interesting film.
Is that Ezra Miller? Is
I
he the
think
one in that?
so. Yes,
That's one of his
sounds
early
right.
early movies.
Anyways, Lynn Ramsey's kind of known for making these films of a certain tone. A lot of people are saying this movie was like, what did you Taken, except like the dark, somber, serious side of all of it. As far as story is concerned, it's a little bit about that. Joaquin Phoenix is sorry, what is he, Jess? He's a hired gun.
He's a
Yeah.
He's a hitman.
He's a hitman, hired gun who specifically rescues trafficked girls. As far as I can tell, they actually don't go a ton into backstory. Even though it is moderately plot driven, it is more so about character development.
Yeah.
And it is character development done to perfection, I think.
Yeah.
Fair.
It
Nice.
is. I can't express how like the feelings that you get watching this film and the way Joaquin Phoenix goes about this character who is clearly has a lot of PTSD and trauma, which is a big focus on this story of this character. It's about sex trafficking also. It's about a lot of other things, a lot of big themes, but mostly I think it's about the psychology of
Trauma.
what it is of trauma. It jumps back and forth in time between what it was like growing up in the family that he grew up in, which was not a good one.
Very abusive.
And then kind of back to like modern days and how he's able to process
He's in the military
these things.
too, right?
I don't know if he was in the military.
It sort of alludes to him being in the military, I think, at one point.
Felt to me without having seen it that he would be somebody.
It sort of
who's in the
alludes to that, I
military.
think.
I watched a couple interviews. Joaquin Phoenix, I think, is an incredibly interesting person. He
He's
was
a
obviously
weirdo.
in the news for being kind of he did that. So he kind of had a weird, not a breakdown, but like he said,
it was a
It was a
breakdown.
late night show, and
Well, that was part of the.
That was
I'm
part of
still
his
here
movie.
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
still here. Okay, yeah.
He did that weird movie.
Social experiment thing.
Yeah.
And then I think watching him being interviewed too, he's just kind of like a little bit of like a quieter guy, even though he's a big dude. Last movie I think I had seen him in prior to that was probably the one, The Master, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He
The
is
P.T.
clear.
Anderson.
Joaquin Phoenix is jumping towards the top of my list of best actors alive.
He is
He's pretty
fucking
good.
He is
great.
fantastic, and the amount of the work that he put into this movie,
Yeah.
which he just had briefly talked to the director and said, "Yeah, I'll do it. Like, sounds good. I'm into it." He put on. He's like, I put on a ton of weight for this, and I wanted to be kind of jacked up top, and then but I kind of want not so much down here, and I
Like
kind of
kinda
want to look
burly.
like flabby, burly, like a bear almost. And I don't know, it's just the amount of work he puts into his films makes me
God, he's so
really
good.
happy. Anyways, go watch it. It's called You Were Never Really Here.
Cool. I do want to see that.
It's so good,
That-
and the
one of the
little
best
girl
movies of
in
the
it,
year.
the little girl
Nice.
in it's so good too. I
seems
was
super
just
intriguing.
like, damn, yeah.
Is
very
it
good.
out? Is it?
It's
I think
probably
it's probably
out,
out for rent. like,
yeah,
to
probably
rent.
now it is. Yes, because we
Okay.
saw it a month ago, and you know how fast movies come out,
Yeah.
especially if it's
Seriously.
indie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I would
Okay.
watch it again. I
Awesome.
think it's really, really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple people I would like to watch it with actually.
Yes.
What'd you watch, Dan?
I went and saw Ocean's 8.
Hey.
Cool.
Hey,
Man,
all
we're
right.
the only one of us that went to the theater.
How was it?
I did enjoy it.
Cool.
I guess I can see where people didn't like it, but I
Sure.
mean, it really is. If you're in the theater, you're already on board.
Yeah.
And it's one, and it goes along. It alludes to the oceans and it's his sister.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so she's playing, and,
Yeah.
and she's so this pedigree of this family is very there are
Right.
a lot of thieves,
Like
and,
a crime family.
yeah, definitely. And it plays out like I can see it. It's derivative. It plays out like she's got her foil. That's I guess that's be the Brad Pitt character to
right.
to her Danny
Kate
Ocean.
Blanchett.
And-
Nice.
yeah,
who's
and so
great.
and a lot of it's just
Blanchett,
their interactions are really good, and and every the whole cast was really fun.
Yeah.
And really really great, and I it moves along kind of at the same pace as I would say like the first one.
Oh,
You know,
good.
there you're in on the heist, but then you're kind of not because there's other things going on, and you're like, oh wait, okay, so it comes through, and it's nice little surprises and things, and
I don't remember if this is the same, any of the same directors connected to the other ones.
I can't remember the director of this one. I should look it up. But Steven Soderbergh was the EP
Right.
on this one.
Okay,
so he was a producer,
Very
and
cool.
I don't. Yeah, and I don't know if he was a writer either. Like I said, I kind of missed on that one, but I think it was just meant to be sort of its own
Separate.
Standalone.
standalone. And they, like I said, they allude. There's at least one cameo, nice fun little cameo.
Oh, awesome.
So
I was
we-
hoping
yeah.
there would be.
I've been hearing about that.
Yeah.
Directed by Gary Ross, who did
Gary
The Hunger
Ross.
Games.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And visually it looks great.
And Pleasantville.
I love
Oh,
Pleasantville.
Totally
right.
forgot about
Pleasantville's
that.
awesome.
Pleasantville's
Yeah.
Like the late 90s?
Great.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
And Seabiscuit, which
Seabiscuits was
It was
black.
all right. It was good.
our producer's the biggest
Okay,
Seabiscuit fan.
Seabiscuit
of all
is
time.
not
Good.
bad,
It was
but
good.
also Pleasantville is like the best.
Seabiscuit was
Soundtrack to
funnily enough
Pleasantville.
filmed at the racetrack that my mother works at.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I think she was in the movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know everyone hates Tobey Maguire. I actually like him a lot.
I don't know that everybody does.
So,
You might be
whatever.
thinking that because I hate him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Like,
going to say,
I
I
love
have
Tobey
no problem.
Maguire.
with
I mean,
Tobey
I do
Maguire.
think those memes of him crying are really funny.
Those are great.
I
I
have
like
to
them too.
say, like,
Yeah.
goddamn, that's good.
There's what completely off topic. We're talking about Tobey Maguire. One of the Spider-Man movies. Sam Raimi's talking. There's a scene where Tobey Maguire is crying, and he says, "Right before we shot this, I told Tobey that his name's not going to be on the top billing of this, and that's how we evoked his tears."
That's really good.
That
Well,
was good.
I'm so happy that you liked it. That you liked Ocean's 8.
Oh no, it was like I said, it was
I
good.
was
I can see if you're just not a fan of those movies, and you probably won't like this one.
Oh, no, I'm a
And
huge
If
fan
you're
of those
going
movies.
in, if you're going in thinking, like I said, it's a heist movie.
Yeah.
But it's not. They do their things to set what they're doing apart. You know, and one of the big themes is they are women, and they're how they operate is different.
Okay.
Yep.
So it was fun. That was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. A lot.
Sweet.
Definitely
So
going to go
that's
see
good.
that
All
for
right.
sure.
I always think of Italian Job whenever I think of heist movies.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
right,
the
yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
Job.
Fun heist movies are just some of the easiest to watch.
Yeah.
When
They
they're,
really are.
when they're
Yeah.
fun, yeah. Like I
Yeah.
said,
You have casts like this too. I remember. So I think the movie was getting some flack by critics, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
And then I can't remember, but somebody in the cast was saying, you're just not caught up with the times or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of almost think, well, are people just saying I don't like this because it's women?
Yeah,
And
the
it's-
Yeah, it's
Ghostbusters.
maybe
That's-
women, yep.
it's-
Yeah.
And
I
maybe
can see
women are
that.
believable enough, at being criminals or something. It's like,
Well,
come on,
here's what I mean.
we can be whatever we want.
Here's the thing: is just like let's just make some original films with female casts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I get though, like reboots. The problem I think with reboots is it's so hard to be objective. You're always comparing it to the other films,
Yeah.
Sure.
and
Sure.
I think the critics do that too.
Sure.
And that is, I think that's for worse, honestly, because then you can't hold it by its own merit.
Yep. I would appreciate if there were more original films with like
Sure.
all female leads. I think that would be Wonderful.
Wonder Woman 2.
Yep.
I was going to say tangentially related,
Sure.
that I noticed also on Netflix that Ibiza is there and ready for viewing, and it was like we saw the trailer for it, and that looked like that was going to be pretty damn funny.
It's a comedy,
so,
right?
Yeah.
I would like to watch that.
Yeah,
that
for
looks
sure.
pretty
Netflix it
fun.
up.
Love me some Gillian Jacobs.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh,
She's
that'll
great.
be one we can all watch together.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. What else is going on a review? We got a required viewing. Tell us about this. You chose it.
Train to Busan.
Yes.
Came out in 2016, and it broke records in Korea, South Korea.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, North Korea is like
In the north, they hate
Well,
it.
the train went from
Not
the
a single
south, the
ticket.
north to the south. So
like I said, it won a ton of awards. And it was one of the higher grossing movies to come out, I think, overall to come out of
Korea.
Yeah, and it's really, like I said, I went into it not.
Keep it on that other side. Yeah.
I went into it not because I'm really getting tired of zombie movies. Right. So like I kind of was ready. I was like, okay, let's watch this, and I was completely turned around by it. Actually, I think it got a Rotten Tomatoes of 95.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really high up there, and it's not like zombies.
Yeah.
And they in the beginning, I think they set up the rules, and that it was I think it had to do with a biotech firm.
Yeah.
Outbreak.
Yeah, that dude is like shoring up without knowing. And just,
Mm-hmm.
And then it moves to this kind of weird, not weird, but it's sort of intense family drama. The main character.
Spoiler review, by the way.
Spoiler review. The main character is divorced.
Yeah.
And he's got, or I guess they're separated.
Yeah,
Separated,
because I was
yeah.
going to say, like, divorce is a big thing in Korea.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was
So
just,
they were, yeah. So
Wait,
there was,
in that it's like
Taboo.
it's a
Yeah,
yeah,
no-no?
as a
Yeah.
cultural,
so in it, you
don't do
get,
that.
so they're not divorced, but they're separate. So she and
He's-
so
on his
he's-
phone, it still says ex-wife,
Yeah.
and it was just like, oh.
I was,
Yeah.
Some of those translations were rough.
Yeah.
I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's in where I forget where they're at. They're in
Not
Seoul,
Busan.
maybe?
Yeah, no,
And
they
then
are in Seoul.
Okay,
yeah.
it's Seoul, and then the train to Busan. All the girl wants is to go see her mom in Busan on
her birthday. Yeah.
So that's why they end up on the train.
It's all her fault.
And really, it sets it up really good. I mean, because they leave early in the morning, so there's things going on, but they don't know because it's so early.
Yeah,
'cause no one has a grasp on it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they said it was like a workers' strike or something, and then
Yeah.
it was like turning violent, and they were like, boy, these riots or something. And then you see as they're driving towards the train station, like a huge building is on fire in the background. He was like, oh, it looks like something's happening.
Something's going on over there.
Like,
It's like 30, cop cars and like fire
Yeah, it was
trucks
kind of
and
cool. She like,
ambulances go by.
she sees the ash in the window.
Yeah.
yeah, because after they almost get T-boned by the fire engine,
Yeah.
it was just because the thing that just creeped me out at the beginning was the guy hitting the deer, not
yeah.
even noticing, and then like it. Like
deer just
bonelessly cracking back
yeah.
up into place and
Yeah.
looking around.
I
Yeah.
called it.
You
I
called
knew
it
that was going to
immediately.
happen. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that deer's going to get back up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be zombie deer.
Oh,
Right
and
away.
zombified animals being added to the
Yeah.
whole thing makes it doubly scary.
yeah.
Which,
yeah.
that was
Zombie
it
deer is
for the zombified
horrifying.
animals, right? We didn't see any more.
No, that
That
was
was the only
that
one,
was it.
yeah.
That,
Yeah,
that
and
was
then
just kind of
we
like the
switched,
first hint.
yeah.
to the humans, yeah, and I mean, really, spoiler alert, yeah, it what it devolves into is basically zombies on a train.
Yeah.
But they did it
Like snakes
so
on a plane.
well. Yeah.
But zombies.
It's
on a
it's
train.
especially once the action starts ramping up. They never really relent.
Yeah, because and like unlike so many of these others, there's not really much room for fighting.
Yeah.
Because like it's just an evasion, like with them trying to do that and utilizing like combinations of like sound and darkness and stuff
Yeah.
to be able to make it.
Yeah.
through.
And these zombies are nuts. They are not like regular zombies. They are not slow. They're
No.
extremely fast.
extremely
You-
aggressive.
The,
Well,
the
and the
change
cha-
is
the-
like
yeah,
it's like
instantaneous.
lightning fast.
It's no Walking Dead like wait a day.
No.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then and then
No,
they can
no.
like
Immediate.
jump super far, climb on things. It's like crazy.
Almost like World War Z zombies.
Yeah. I
right?
think-
Where
yeah,
they're just
I
like
think
nutty.
They
Yeah.
I think that was one of their actually the filmmakers was World War Z was one of their kind of
That's a
go-tos
good movie, man.
it's a really good
as
movie.
far as like setting up their world. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
something they
That's
were-
based
yeah.
off of a book. I think World War Z.
Yes.
World War Z
Yeah.
is yes.
Yeah, that's a Max Brooks piece.
Max Brooks. Yes.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
And
I thought it was a fun ride. Scared the crap out of me too.
Yeah. There were a lot of elements in it.
Can we talk a bit about the characters
Yeah.
in the film?
Yeah.
So we had the dad, we had the daughter. Those are kind of the main ones. We see his mother, but you don't see much of her.
We see this couple, the woman who's
yeah.
pregnant with the beast dude who's like super
Who
young.
we hate at
shit.
first.
And he's just like
Yeah.
beating
he
all the
seems
zombies
like
up.
such a douche. And then it was just like, no, he actually has a heart of gold.
Yeah.
And he's also frighteningly jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a bear.
And he's like a martial artist. And
Yep.
We see the team of baseball players.
The baseball players.
And then the single cheerleader.
There's the two sisters.
Yes,
the elderly
the
women.
elderly
Yeah.
sisters.
And I enjoy it had that ensemble aspect. I mean, just because they're all in this tight space.
Yeah.
And you see it unravel too. It's like kind of they slowly add all the
And you kind of I like too that a lot of the commentary kind of go along with the social commentary, because there's one part when in the beginning where they're seeing the footage and everyone's keeps thinking it's riots, and it's one of the elderly sisters. She says, "Oh well, if this was the old days, they would all just be re-educated."
I know. She was like, "You can't say
You
that."
can't say things like that. That's not.
It's like there's always something to write about now.
Yeah, exactly.
But
There was one scene where they
that was good.
dropped off the zombies in the helicopters.
Yeah.
That was nutty. I've never seen anything like that in a film.
Yeah,
I like
where
that.
the kids were like filming skate
They were
videos
skating.
and stuff, and then just
Yeah.
zombies are
Start falling
bouncing
out
off
of
of
the
cars.
Yeah.
And
Basically biowarfare.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy how they managed to really show that, like, even with zombies in a world of zombies, humans are still like against each other. Like
They're always the
like,
worst.
Like
Yeah.
like human beings are always like their own worst enemy. You
'Cause
know,
the-
like it's just terrible. Like that guy, the train conductor guy.
protagonist,
He's not really
yeah.
the conductor. He's like he owns like the trains or something.
Yeah. Oh,
He's like
the
a CEO or
COO,
some
yeah.
COO. That guy is a dick. He's the worst.
Holy,
He
I
is the worst.
hated him from the moment.
And when they all at the end, kind of like towards the end, when they're like trying to get into that car and nobody's letting them in, and then when they finally do get in, it's like, get out, get out, get out, like you're infected, and they're just treating them like shit, and it's like no humanity, like no, like
But then they all
I'm
die.
so sorry. Yep. And then they all die because they get what they
great.
deserve.
That's
'cause-
great.
It's what we all wanted, and they gave it
Payback's
to
the
us.
best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
I had a
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a Korean something, but it reminded me a lot of The Host.
Okay.
The Host, how The Host was this real intense family drama, but the backdrop is this weird
giant
monster
monsters,
movie.
yeah.
And it's kind of what this felt like, because it's a relationship with his daughter, you know, and a nice little subplot is he's with his mom in the beginning, and he kind of he gets updated by the phone because she stayed behind,
Right.
and a little and the tears in this one,
Holy shit!
Yeah,
I've not seen many zombie movies that have made me roll genuine tears.
Yeah.
like especially at the end.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Yeah. I mean, Walking Dead does it to me a lot. I
Right.
cry my eyes out constantly in that show. But this, the part where the dad turns,
right.
that got to me really bad, because that little girl is probably my favorite actress in this movie.
Yeah.
I think she's really, really good. She
And her,
was really
like,
good.
because in the movie her name is Suan, and that's her actual name.
Aw.
Yeah. And it was just like
love her.
holy shit, the emoting that she does at the end. It was
she's
like she
just
was
screaming
devastated.
and oh my god,
Yeah.
I just love her.
And,
And when
like,
she's singing at the end,
of all things,
So
who
good.
would have thought that Aloha Oi would be
Right.
the thing where I'm like,
So, yeah.
What was
Yeah.
the other screen source required viewing with the little girl that was like? The devil inside the devil. It was another Korean film. I don't know if you remember.
oh, I don't.
But
think
anyways,
that
the
was part of it.
neighbor was like a killer, and he was trying to save the little girl.
oh yes,
Yeah, I don't remember what it was
I don't
called.
remember what it's
Oh
called.
wait, was it the Man from Nowhere?
That
Man from
sounds
Nowhere.
right.
Because I think I
Yes.
skipped that. Yeah, I think I
Okay.
skipped that week. But yeah, because I'd seen that one.
Okay,
and
yeah.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
a
a
great
good one,
movie.
too.
They also
Yeah.
like a little girl that's very good at acting.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
she's like
for sure.
crying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the downer on this one. I much like The Host, and I really love Korean films too. I try to keep up with them, but much like The Host, I thought it was a little contrived, especially the relationships.
Oh, certainly.
I don't know if it was the acting or the writing. It could have been a mixture, but I didn't buy some of the main character, the father. I guess he'd be the main character, right? I didn't buy some of the scenes that he was doing, especially as like the movie went on. And same thing with the daughter too. Even though you're right, probably one of the better actors in the movie. Honestly, I thought maybe the Bear Man was maybe my favorite, and his wife. I really liked that.
It was hard not to really like him. Because again, he seemed like such an asshole, and then it was like, nope, had a heart of gold, and ultimately, was willing to
sacrifice himself.
It's a zombie movie, so it's like nobody can be surprised if we're like, oh yeah, by the way, like pretty much everybody dies. It was just like very bittersweet ending and everything. But, but it was just like, there's going to be, you see those characters who are going to be so cool, and it was like, I already can tell what your heroic sacrifice is going to be. You know? But it was just like, that dude was such a badass. Especially when it was like, it takes his jacket off, and he's just massive, and he starts taping
when he takes it
up.
off. And I think I kind of liked the baseball player and the girlfriend-ish. But again, in the end, I just didn't buy it. And I don't know, like I don't know where it fell flat for me. I do remember like looking over at Jess towards the end of the movie, and she's bawling, and I'm just sitting there like, I was kind of shaking my head.
I think it's just because it was a very oddly handled romance subplot.
Maybe,
Just in that she was just like, hey, because everybody was super into her. She was only into that one guy, and he kind of didn't actually like her back. And then she was kind of like, where it's like, it's just you and me now after everybody else has turned and stuff. And then finally he kind of has feelings for her, but by then it's far too late.
Sure. I honestly think if they would have boiled this down a little bit more, I think it was like I think they kind of maybe added a little too much. I thought I thought it should have ended earlier as well.
It was really long.
The main character, I could see where you would say he's not believable, because I think that what I had a hard time buying was that he was this selfish CEO guy, and then he all of a sudden, like, because of this experience, turned into this like selfless, really nice like guy that like turned into a zombie because he wanted to save his daughter, when before at the beginning of the movie he's like not ever seeing his daughter, even though she lives with him.
To die.
And I mean I get it, but I agree that I think he was, to me, the way that his character changed was the least believable part of the movie.
And that's writing.
I mean everything else I enjoyed, and I liked the way the zombies were and the way that they looked, and they were incredibly scary.
Like I definitely felt like World War Z, and like
milky eyes and the veins.
And the way they kind of like piled over each other a lot. They don't do a lot of piling in zombies.
Because the performance of those, especially one of the baseball players who gets bit and he dies on the terminal, and like he does almost like a break dancing back up to his feet, the way that he does this shit, just, and you can tell his limbs are all you know? Like he does like the no hands, like he almost
gets
does
up.
like a headstand, like how he goes back and does like a neck bridge and like turns his whole body up like with his fucked up arms, and it was like,
so gross.
oh, that's just creepy. Also, the other thing I was going to mention was that with the dad, I think the reason that he did this is that as a corporate, as a hedge fund manager, I think he also kind of saw what a piece of shit he could become with the other dude who was like him, who was the self-involved guy, and he didn't want to be anything like that guy.
Oh, interesting. So it's kind of like
the dude was like a dark reflection of who he possibly could have been. And then once he saw that, like you see that the point at which he has completely turned around is when he punches him right in the fucking face. For being the guy. And then of course, like you see that they are nothing alike after all.
There's the other part, and it's something I missed maybe on the first go around. There's a part where he finds out that the bio company is one of their clients.
That Kim was.
They're kind of at fault.
Is this my fault?
And there's like and so there's that little kind of moral conundrum too. Just
Well,
and it's really ironic that he ends up getting bit and turned into a zombie by the guy who's the COO, who's the asshole guy. and he's trying to like fight that guy off and stuff. I think that's really interesting. Like, it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, well, you ended up turning into the same thing as him anyway.
Yeah,
even though you
we're
tried
all
not to.
the same, and we're all going to die.
Yep,
For sure.
So
And it was weird too because that dude like sacrificed everybody, including people who were trying to save him.
I know.
You know, and it was just like, what a piece
when
of
he
shit this guy is.
sacrificed that conductor, I was so furious, just
Yeah.
furious. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I hope he dies. So
It was
bad.
it was like the one was where he just completely stone faced tells like the attendant. He was just like, no, it's the coast is perfectly clear, and the guy looks out and he just shoves him into the fucking zombies and runs, and it was just like, oh, you fucking suck. And it was just like, yeah, those two guys ended up in the exact same circumstances within about 2 minutes of one another. One of them finally learned to be a better person and had character development. The other one was just became a worse and worse piece of shit, reverting to childhood.
Sure.
Like at the very end, which was so weird, like that I wasn't expecting. Yeah, it was strange, and then they ended up kind of as the same, and both kind of like were destroyed zombily the same way too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so sad, but fun. Cool,
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing that movie.
I want to see the. Did you see what they posted also that there was the animated prequel to it called
Yeah.
Soul Station?
I did not see that.
So, yeah.
That looks cool.
That sounds like that might be an interesting one, just to kind of get the backstory of what happened with the biotech firm possibly
Yeah.
that was
Right.
responsible for this outbreak, because like that whole thing seemed super hopeless, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder where we can watch that. That'd be a cool little watch to see
Yeah.
animated version of what we just saw a little bit.
Yeah.
So who's choosing the next movie? We didn't actually discuss this. I think I chose the one that was I chose Hereditary. You chose Train to Busan. So one of you two. Who hasn't chosen in a while?
I guess.
What was
I
the
don't
last one
know.
you chose?
I don't remember.
Um,
Let me look and see if I have
I
something on
ch-
deck here.
Wow, I chose one a long time ago. I don't even remember.
When was the last time you chose, Jess?
It's been a long time.
You guys want a Rochambeau, or you guys just want to choose one?
I mean, I can choose one. Let me just look and
Yeah.
see if I have something like on deck for us to actually.
Cool. Let's move on to the next game while Jessica makes a decision for the next required viewing. All right. So we are going to be talking about the last anime standing.
right.
So every week we do a game where it's last blank standing. This week it is last anime, chosen by our producer Connor. And this one I'm going to be a little less involved with because I haven't seen some of these. But I do know, or we kind of chose ones that were pretty universally, if not liked, at least popular.
Yeah.
And so I know you're going to have a lot to say with this guy. So let's play this game. Each of us are going to erase. What am I trying to say here? Each of us are going to eliminate, delete, Control Alt Delete an anime, and the last anime show standing will be the best one of all time forever. Starting now. So,
All right.
what did we decide? Jessica and I kind of decided that the person that's seen all of them should probably choose last. Is that correct?
Because I've definitely seen all.
You've
of them.
seen all of them.
Right.
I've seen like half of them. Where are you at? You at half or any?
I've seen half.
Okay.
But I know about. I haven't. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, also we chose way too many. I just realized because I thought there was going to be a fifth one.
Right.
So we'll have Connor maybe make
Yeah.
our first choice to eliminate. So he already knows which one he's going to eliminate. Which one is it, Connor?
Get out of there, Death Note.
Death Note.
Death
He's out of
Note.
it. All right. So no
That's
Death Note.
fair.
I think
It's
we
not
should.
unfair.
I think Jessica should choose the next anime to eliminate, and that's only because
I don't know very many of them.
right, exactly.
Well, actually, I haven't really watched any of them. Damn it. I don't
Which
know.
one looks least appealing to you, Jess?
So I was gonna say you've got pirates, you've got giant robots, you've got martial arts, you've got ninja martial arts, and then you've got space bounty hunters.
There you go.
Oh, wow. I don't know, guys. Give me some direction here. Dragon Ball Z or the one underneath?
Oh, Gundam.
Gundam.
Yeah, just it depends on what.
What do you like?
Yeah, you like more martial arts or more robots?
I like robots better than martial
Okay, she's
arts,
getting
I
rid of
think.
Dragon Ball Z. All right, that is
I'm
Death
sorry.
Note
It
Dragon
just
Ball
looks
Z.
lame.
No, that's
Wow.
no, fair. That's
Yeah.
that too is fair.
I'll go next. I am going to get rid of maybe the more popular. Yeah, you know what though? It looks like fun. I will say.
Which one?
One Piece.
That one is actually, I would say,
That's one of the
between
ones I
the two,
haven't
that
seen.
one is the more fun.
That one looks fun, but I haven't seen a lick of it. I've seen licks of the other ones. And
I'll describe it in terms, just like in what I liked about it afterward.
Okay.
Like regardless of what your decision is, I'll tell you more about it once
sure.
once we're off the air.
You know what? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here. I think I'm gonna get rid of Gundam.
Gundam?
Yes. Now, the closest thing I'm like obsessed with would be Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I haven't seen like a modernized version. I don't know if like it's 80s.
Gundam, the first one was late 70s,
Late
but there have been
70s.
Yeah,
so
there's a
many
lot.
incarnations of the
Okay.
Gundam series
Okay.
that
I think it looks maybe just a little like too serious for me.
it's very
Maybe the early
serious.
ones.
Yeah.
The early ones definitely.
That's one of the reasons I like Voltron is that like they really go into like the characters and they have fun, and that's kind of what I want in my cartoons a lot.
Have you seen the new Netflix Voltron?
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what
It's
I've
very
heard. I
good
haven't
stuff.
seen it
That's
yet.
the
good
book
stuff.
back there.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we started
Yeah.
watching those. Those are really good.
It's a good movie. Okay, you want to go next?
I will.
What do you have left? You have One Piece, Naruto, and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Naruto.
Getting rid of it?
Yeah.
Right. Not for you?
I think of the. I think is from what is Naruto more like a kids?
It's like it has a second series which sucks.
Okay,
but,
maybe that's I
yeah.
don't have. Okay, that might be
it's ninja. It's basically young teenage ninjas, and like I could go into much further detail, but honestly, I will not argue that one at all. I mean, it's not bad, but yeah, it's just teenage ninjas, and everybody has legacies and curses.
It could be the one Naruto that I am familiar with is the one you're talking about. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really into it.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
no, fair enough.
All right, so we got One Piece and Cowboy Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop.
Whoa, shit.
Cowboy Bebop wins. Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah, I'm getting rid of One Piece. Cowboy Bebop, like that shit defined my young adulthood.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, One Piece. Like I said, like if it wasn't Cowboy Bebop, I probably would have gone with One Piece.
Really?
After Death Note went away, because I get it.
Right.
But yeah, Cowboy Bebop is one of those where there was so much cool shit about it, and not only that, the main character is voiced by one of my favorite voiceover artists, Stephen
okay.
Bloom.
Okay.
Pouring all of my vibes. Like,
You're throwing your vibes in there?
I was like, keep going.
Yeah, because it's like it's a team of people who all kind of fuck their lives up,
Misfits.
Yeah, in just with the possible exception of super genius girl hacker and her hyper intelligent dog.
dead dog.
Because like otherwise one of them is a revival from our time,
Okay.
who was cryogenically frozen and then revived in like a weird like it's not dystopian. It's like but it's very close to like.
It's like
cyberpunk.
It's like
yeah,
a westernized future.
cyberpunk low space opera.
Give me,
Is
give me a
it
Blade Runner.
Firefly
Blade Runner
at all?
feel.
Yes, actually, but like because it's the same kind of space westerny kind of thing where
Got
it's
it.
like because
They're
Spike, dude, with
bounty
green
hunters.
hair, and Jet are partners who've been they're bounty hunters,
Yes.
and they're very good bounty hunters, and it's a very fun, very engaging, like one of the best soundtracks. Fucking soundtrack.
Yeah, that intro. I've watched a little bit of it. The
Yeah,
intro is
good stuff.
amazing.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, the style of it, like, and the fact that it is a very adult show, where the things about it are fun and the humor is dry and sardonic and there's a lot of ass kicking, but it's like they are all flawed human beings, which I really like. They are not personality archetypes. There is a depth to them,
Good.
that just makes them so cool. And I will admit, the first time I heard the name of the show, I was like, that sounds fucking stupid. But then I was like, Breaking Bad? That sounds fucking stupid. And I ignored it for years. And it's one of those things where it's like,
a lot of them sound stupid. But they're not.
Where it's like Squidward with the Krabby Patty, where it was like, I've wasted so many years of my life after you find out like exactly how good it is.
That's great. That's great.
But yeah, Cowboy Bebop. Yeah, fuck them all.
90s?
Huh?
Is it 90s?
Late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yeah, very late 90s. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, this was more geared towards a more mature kid or a young adult. Is that right?
I would say it would be closer to like adult.
Adult.
Yeah, because I mean, it was something you could watch as a young person. Because I started watching it as a college student.
All my friends watched it growing up. Yeah,
it resonated with me immediately.
Okay,
because it's like again, it's just a bunch of flawed badasses all together, and it's having to do what they do, and like it's all awesome, and it all kind of ends in tragedy. It's like, sorry, it's 20 years. It does not have a happy ending. But it's so cool, and you kind of like that, especially if you watch it all over again and know, like, yeah, they're doomed. But it's really, but the way that they get from point A to point B is a beautifully told story. Also, that movie. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Cowboy Bebop is the last anime standing, best anime of all time.
I'm very interested.
Thank you,
It's
Fernando.
good. It's good stuff.
I was gonna be fully coolly, and then I was like, "What am I doing? Cowboy Bebop."
Yeah, please don't make me make that choice.
Oh
either.
my god.
All right, let's move into our trailers segment. So
Before we do that, by the way,
yes.
I have several suggestions, but I don't know. You guys can choose.
We can help you. Yeah,
you guys can choose.
Absolutely.
So, have you guys seen Life as a House?
No, I think we talked about this one.
Yeah. It's very good. It's kind of on the a lot of these are on the sad side. So Life is a House, kind of a like coming of age movie.
Okay.
And then we have Lady in the Water, which got a really bad score on Rotten Tomatoes, but I actually like it a lot. It's one of the M. Night Shyamalan's that
never seen that one.
That got a lot of bad press, but I like it.
Well, and it was Bryce Dallas Howard's debut, wasn't it?
I think I will say on that one, from what I understand, like the marketing on it was just
bad.
completely different than what the movie actually was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what they sold it as.
But that's also kind of what he does, right? Like everything he does is very twisty.
Yeah.
Oh, M. Night's in it.
Yeah, he's doing that. Yeah, he's showing up more and more in his movies, which I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But
right.
But
okay.
but I think, like I said, I think it was sold as one thing, and everyone had their expectations of what thinking about what M. Night Shyamalan's about.
So you three have seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course,
Okay.
it's been 12 years.
Okay.
So yeah.
I saw it when it came out.
So think about that one, and then there is a movie called Joy Luck Club, which is based off a book, which is really, really good. That one's also very sad, though.
The Amy Tan one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Ever After, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, but kind of a chick flick, but also like men can enjoy it.
It was the Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore.
I saw this when it came out because I was on a date.
Yeah.
When it came out. So
That's a good date movie.
I already have like good memories of it,
Okay.
but it was also 20 years ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so what do you
right.
guys think out of those ones? Which one? What's your pleasure?
I don't know. I'm leaning.
What's your mood?
I'm leaning towards Life as a House.
Yes.
Okay.
Personally.
I believe it was Life as a House.
It was Life as a House,
Lady in the
Water,
Water,
Ever After,
Ever
or
After.
Joy Luck Club.
Okay, I haven't seen Life as a House or Ever After. So
Okay.
That would be the only one like.
Yeah, that you'd be talking about fresh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So Ever After is like a Cinderella story, Cinderella movie with Drew Barrymore.
Right.
It's like 90s, or early 2000s maybe.
It was
Yeah,
like
may-
98, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
90s,
okay.
like it's like poppy.
Yeah.
kind of.
Because I saw the other movie that's like that one, which was it Amy Adams.
Oh, yeah, Enchanted.
It's
Okay.
much different.
Very different.
It's very different. It's more of like a actual take on what
Yeah.
it would have been like what actual.
Oh, is
Cinderella
Ever
story would have
After
been
like it's set in like Victorian?
Yes.
And she has the
Okay.
sisters.
Wait a minute.
I've seen a little bit of this.
It has Angelica Houston.
Yeah, I've already
in
seen
it.
some of this. Yeah.
Jess? Was it Drew Barrymore and Doug Ray Scott
Yes,
as the
sir.
principals? Holy shit. Okay. No, like that was like I strained my memory to see.
Nice.
It was like, do I remember the principal? Yeah.
Yep.
It was like, okay, all right. I'm glad that the wheels
Yeah.
are still turning on
Yeah.
that one.
And I can always make you guys watch it another time. So I mean,
There you go.
Whatever one you choose, I'll.
What are you leaning
save
towards?
something.
any of them. Like I said, those are the two I haven't seen.
Okay.
So I kind of go based on that. But
Sure.
I mean, I think all of them.
I'm good with Life as a House.
Okay, cool.
Okay, let's do Life as a
That
House.
works.
Life
I
as
like
a
it a
House.
lot.
Drama from mid 2000s
Yes, I will look up the
or mid
exact
2010s.
year.
I don't know.
Life
Which
is a
one
House,
is-
2001.
2001. Okay, early
2001, there you go.
2000s.
Okay.
It's with Kevin Kline, who I really like.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I am.
Hayden Christensen.
Kristen
It's
Scott
like-
Thomas,
it's
Jenna Malone.
it was like what he did in between the Star Warses. Is he in that?
Before Star Wars.
Oh, are you talking
Hayden-
about Hayden
Hayden
Christensen?
Christensen, yeah.
Yep, I think it was before.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, before your favorite Star
Oh
Wars.
wait, no, because in '99 he wasn't in it
He wasn't
yet.
in that one. That's right. It was a little kid. That's
Yeah,
right. Duh.
and he
I was
is
like,
actually
yes.
really good in this. Normally, I hate him, but he was
I
actually
keep
really
hearing
good in
that.
this.
I keep hearing that he's actually not bad.
Oh, yeah.
That's I
Super
haven't seen it.
angsty goth
He's
kid, and he does a good
inextricable.
job. Yep. So okay.
All right, we'll watch that and talk about
Cool.
that one next
Cool.
week.
Sweet.
Anyways, we're on to our trailer segment. This is a watch, rent, or skip. We're going to watch a couple of trailers, and then we'll each have to decide individually whether or not we would watch, rent, or skip it.
Cool.
So hit escape. That would help you out there. There you go, buddy. I didn't mean to sound so condescending.
I was like, oh man.
It's like, you asshole! Don't be mean.
All right, our first trailer
Dog Days.
for the night is Dog Days. Go ahead and give that a little maximize, and then press play on it.
Interesting. I don't know what this
Whoop.
is about.
Oh, we don't want to see all of the dogs already.
I didn't know.
Cool. Thank you.
Folks, we are certainly in the dog days of summer. It is going to be a hot, hot hottie.
That will be $3.75.
Keep the change.
This is $1.
Here, you look beautiful.
Large pepperoni? No offense,
That's
but
the
is your
dad
dog
from
pregnant
This Is
or
Us.
super
Yeah.
fat?
I called you for pizza, not opinions.
Stranger Things kid.
He's lethargic. His appetite is down. Sam needs to get out there and meet some new dogs. That'll be $300.
Oh fuck no.
Is that Tig?
It's signatory.
I like Tig.
Look so angry and happy at the same time.
I like those two actresses.
Change your sister.
Move away from the door. She has a
I met him.
Yep.
Until I get back from the hospital.
My building has a strict no dog policy, so I'm gonna fix it.
How am I gonna get you up there?
Oh, come in. Would it be possible to volunteer?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Pepperoni!
Mr. Pepperoni?
No.
Joining us today is a former LA Ram, the co-host. This tackle dummy doesn't know anything about hosting a morning news show.
Whoa.
The audience loves you two together.
Charlie, every spot you've sniffed on this walk is the same. Just pee anywhere!
I want to help you find your dog.
You should be my best friend.
This dog has made us a family.
Is that Rob Corddry?
I think so.
Whose dog is that?
Ready? Almost don't recognize you without steam coming out your ears.
Our landlord just sold the building out from under us.
What about a fundraiser?
We're at the New Tricks charity event, so come on down.
Everyone, 5 stars!
5 stars.
Dogs open their hearts to us, to love and to be loved. And I find that beautiful.
That's quite a cast.
Yeah.
Let them out.
Whatever you think is happening is not.
Oh no.
Melissa Metsuoda, the person that
It looks
like,
a
wrote
little.
and
It looks
directed
a
or
little
something?
lame and cheesy, but
It's not. It does not look like that would be a hard watch.
No, I don't think so. I don't even think I'd rent that, to be honest with you. Definitely, they're trying to pull out the heartstrings
Yeah.
of dog lovers, which a lot of people
Yeah.
are. So
Yeah, I don't know that I like that. I mean,
Stan doesn't like it. Here you go.
you know what?
well, I mean, I don't like the idea of just having the dogs as just the as the cell or whatever.
Oh, sure.
You
Right,
know?
yes,
I mean,
yes.
yeah.
Yep,
I don't know that I don't like that.
If I'm like have nothing to do one night and I'm just like in a like feel good movie type of mood, maybe I'll watch it on Netflix just because like
You're not gonna just go watch Homeward Bound?
because it's so cute. It looks cute, and I love dogs. But you know what? For right now, it's a skip. But if I'm really bored, then maybe I'll give it a rent.
Sorry, dog days.
Yeah.
Days are over.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Brain on Fire. I've been hearing about this one.
Dog days are over. That's funny because that's a
boom.
Florence and the Machine song.
Actually, I kept typing Dog Days into YouTube, like trying to find like the right one.
That came
and
up.
It kept showing Florence.
It's a damn good song.
My name is Susanna Cahalan. I'm 21 years old, and here I am with my dream job at the New York Post.
Gross. Why are you smiling this early in the morning? It's unnatural and disgusting. You look ridiculous.
Susanna! I interview that creepy senator.
You'll have a Thursday night.
I know I will, because I can always count on you.
I had my whole life in front of me.
Happy birthday.
And I had absolutely no idea what was waiting for me.
She's gonna turn into a vampire.
Nice.
No.
Where are you? You're very, very late. You gotta get your ass in here. You're gonna miss the 10 o'clock meeting.
Oh shit.
I feel really sick. My head hurts. The stomach
Oh no.
My hands numb.
Epilepsy?
I've never felt this before.
Oh no.
Tumor.
We've tested
She has,
Susanna
like-
for every infectious disease. All of the results are negative.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this together. Her EEG is completely normal. Her MRI is normal. Her neurological exam is normal. It's all normal.
Her condition continues to regress. Manic
Vampire.
behavior, paranoia.
Each of them is giving us a different diagnosis. One is saying bipolar, next one is saying schizophrenic, then they're saying psychotic.
We should look at hospitals that are better equipped to deal with her.
They better not tell us what it is in this trailer.
To all of us.
We will find the answer.
Her life is in your hands. Tell me what is wrong with my daughter.
You must be the famous Susanna.
I'm scared.
I know she's still in there. She's just trapped. I promise you, I'm going to do everything I can to find you.
No.
Is it Carla Gugino that's the mom?
No, that's Trinity.
Oh, okay.
What's her?
Carrie Ann Moss.
That's
Carrie Ann
it.
Moss.
yeah, there
Rain
you go.
on Fire. The sequel to Man on Fire.
Yeah.
Rain on Fire. What? Okay.
So
My name is Susanna Cahalan.
So it's a 2-hour movie about an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
well,
Basically.
it reminds me a lot of. I'm a social worker, by the way. I work at a hospital, and it reminds me a lot of some patients that I've had where it's like actually literally like taken months for them to figure out what the heck is wrong with them. And they've just been suffering through it, like not knowing and having all these symptoms, and it's been terrible. And yeah, so this really happens a lot, actually.
Doctoring is hard.
It's pretty fascinating stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, really sad because you just, God, can you imagine like having seizures and blacking out and just being called like schizophrenic, but you're not really sure. Nobody's really sure what's wrong with you, and you know something's wrong. And it even gets to the point where a lot of times people are like, "Oh, this is all in your head. You're creating this problem.
Which
like
is the
this
most
is your fault.
insulting.
Like you're doing this to yourself." And you're like, "No, I'm not. Why would I make myself have seizures? Like, why would I do this to myself?" And yeah, so that hits kind of close to home for me.
Would you watch a movie about it? Is the question.
I don't know. It might be a little
Doesn't
bit
sound like a
traumatic
yes.
for me. It might be a little traumatic for me, but I do like Chloe Grace Moretz, so I don't
Me
know.
too. I think she's
She's
great.
in everything nowadays.
She really is. Yeah.
She's doing very well for herself.
Yeah, I think I would watch it because it looks good, but at the same time, it's going to be a traumatic watch for me.
What do you guys think?
I kind of I when you said the Grey's Anatomy, I was like, yeah, it looks like a episode
Or like
of
a House
ER
episode or something.
A House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love most of those shows. By the
I love
way.
those shows. I don't know that I love a movie
Sure.
about an episode on
Right.
that show.
Right.
I don't know.
Even though each of those episodes for those shows are like an hour, so
Right,
you'd just be spending an extra hour with good acting and
Yeah.
hopefully good writing. I don't know.
That remains, yeah.
Yeah, it remains to be
Hopefully.
seen. Actually, it reminds me a lot of like the last movie I saw that was like this is The Big Sick, but that was a comedy, I think, more so than this, where this doesn't seem to have any comedic elements to
It's
it.
more of a serious, yeah.
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 based off of a book.
It's on Netflix, right? I mean, I'll probably just rent it.
I have a question. Generally, do you think book movies do well?
No.
Tends like unless it's stuff like The Fault in Our Stars, if it's something like that or like Silver
Harry
Linings
Potter.
Playbook, yeah, there are exceptions, but a lot of them tend to be just.
And if you think about it, I think most of the time, like the book is going to be better than the movie.
Yeah,
like 9 times out of 10, the book is going to be better than the movie. The book's going to be better than the
There's
show.
the rare occasion. The more rare occasion is when the movie is actually better than the book.
Right.
And
it's
I
very
think
rare.
I think I get crap for this all the time, but I say The Shining.
Oh,
has anybody actually read The Shining?
Right. I haven't read The Shining.
That's the biggest problem with that.
It's kind of a slog.
Sure.
It's kind of boring. It's kind of,
Didn't people kind of think that about the reboot of It as well? I don't know if people like the new It more than the.
I don't know. That I don't know.
The new It is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, the old one I liked a lot too, but I've never read the book, so I can't really speak to that.
Quick book corner sidebar.
Sure.
Had you ever read what was it? Desperation and The Regulators.
Oh, the Buckman.
Yeah, those two, because they kind of bring the whole thing full circle back to The Shining at the end of them. Yeah, and it was just very strange. Anyway, lugubrious read.
All right, sorry. It's been a long weekend. Thank you for watching Screen Source. Again, your place for film and television news, reviews, and trailers. Make sure to tune in to watch our next slide, please. Our trailer review of Nun, or The Nun, rather, the movie and the Conjuring series.
Otherwise known as Marilyn Manson's comeback.
Yes.
Just kidding.
It does look a lot like him,
but it does look exactly like him.
That'll be going up at the same time that this episode goes up. So, and that is on top of a million other things we reviewed. Halloween last week.
Right.
Let's get that outro slide going. Tell you some more things that we do here on youtube.com/color circuit. We have comedians react as well. We have a night where we have a lot of improvisers and stand-ups sit around. We watch viral videos and we react to those. On top of that, we are live almost every day on twitch.tv/color circuit live, where we do more video game, film-related things, and what's that last part? Comedy-related things. So thank you, everyone. My name is Dylan. Subscribe, read,
TV.
Yeah.
And
Do
that
it.
movie that you mentioned.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do
Life
it.
is a House. Do it.